Burnley nil for the second time in 5 days at Molineux against Burnley, in what was probably a better performance than the Norwich game, but ultimately one that lacked any end product or any real chance of scoring a goal. XG had the game 0.7 to 0.25, and I think that reflected the game perfectly. If this was a game you had to miss for some reason, you're not really missing out on anything. Obviously, the team lineup came out. Everyone was pretty happy to see Adama Traore in there. I was surprised Adama Traore didn't come in for Hwang. I thought we'd see Adama off the left and then Trincao come in. Just because to me Hwang looks very overplayed, and I thought he had a pretty bad game for. He's been bad for a while now, Hwang. After a good start, but I didn't mind the team lineup. I wasn't really that nervous going into this game just because I don't think Burnley are very good, and even after finishing the game, I still don't think they're very good. But it kind of felt like we stooped to their level a bit, and after Adama Traore missed that chance that, albeit he created for himself, it never felt like we were going to score, and it's felt like that for a while now. And look, to be fair, we have to give, Twitter's going into meltdown as usual. If you look at the Premier League table, we're still sixth right now. Obviously, some of the games are still going on when I'm recording this, but we're still sixth. We've played We've played West Ham, Norwich, Burnley, and got 5 points out of 9. It's not awful. It's not great, but it's okay. It's 3 clean sheets for Jose Sarr. The back three's been really good. Kilman's probably our best player in terms of actually trying to play progressive passes. And it felt like he was the only guy trying to do that. But the game actually started pretty well. Like Ben Mee took out Adama Traore for a yellow card, and Matt Loughton got booked as well. I was like, okay, this could be the game. Maybe they'll go down to 10 men. Maybe it'll just be a bit more direct. And it kind of never really kicked on from there. Semedo put in a good cross, Dendon had a header, and it was like, okay, maybe something's going to happen here. Then obviously Adama hit the crossbar when he kind of ran all the way from left back to the right wing, and after that there wasn't really an obvious chance. But we went in at half time, and people were not overreacting, but people were annoyed at the performance. I wasn't that annoyed, to be honest. I think people. I didn't like the people going in on Bruno because I don't think Bruno's really done anything wrong. The back five is really solid. Semedo and Aït-Nouri were getting in good areas, and the delivery was pretty. It wasn't great, especially from Aït-Nouri. I thought Semedo put in some good balls. There was just no one there. Like Raul Jimenez was so wide in this game. I don't know if it was a tactical thing or he's just getting annoyed, but the amount of times Raul Jimenez was on the right wing and Adama Traore was kind of like here. You want that the other way around. And as the second half went on, when it turned 60 minutes, 65 minutes, I don't think anyone ever thought we were going to score. And it was just an annoying game. Burnley wasted time, dived, and it kind of fizzled out. And I thought Moutinho had a good game. I thought Kilman had a good game. But apart from that, it never felt like we were going to score. And the things that Bruno was talking about in midweek about players not being selfish enough and being a bit too safe, it didn't really change in this game. If anything, it was exacerbated. The amount of times Conor Cody touched that ball. I felt whenever the ball gets into our final third or into the opposition's final third, it feels like instead of just taking on a man who passes back to Moutinho, he gets pressed, and then we have to go back to Cody. And there's nothing wrong with that. The one good thing you can say about Wolves right now is we're a very good defensive unit. If you look at the Premier League table, I think, and go through goals against, we've only conceded 12 goals. I think that's the fourth best in the Premier League. So he has built a good defence, and you can't just forget that because we want to see more goals. But it is a bit concerning now that we scored 1 goal in 3 games. I think the one thing you could say is Trincao came on and did really well in the last 10 minutes. I really like Trincao. I think he's probably been in terms of overall performance, I think he is our best wide player personally. Well, Daniel Potence probably is, but he's hardly played. And look, I'm not slagging off Adama or Hwang. Hwang scored some big goals for us, and we'd be a lot lower down the league if it wasn't for Hwang's goals. And Adama was actually pretty good today. He was a lot less frustrating than he was when he came on against Norwich, but it felt like this a few weeks ago as well, but it feels like this squad's kind of hit a ceiling now, and that's fine. We're sixth in the Premier League. There's nothing wrong with hitting a ceiling but when you look at that bench, obviously it's not Bruno's fault that Marcel's injured and Potence is injured and Neto's injured and Johnny's injured and all that. We get that. But it feels like this, and it's felt like this for a while now, this squad's hit its limit with this formation. And look, I think we'll play well against Liverpool. We played well against West Ham, and I think these sort of games don't suit us. They never did under Nuno, and it still kind of doesn't feel like they'll do that now because we don't have an outstanding creator. Hwang's never been a creator. Adama obviously isn't, and Moutinho and Dendoncker aren't either. So I guess this game could have been predicted. And look, if Adama scores that 1-on-1, then this game's an easy win probably. Because Burnley were never going to score in that game, but as the clock ticked down, it never felt like we were going to score. And I think this squad's hit its limit now, and I'm okay with that, assuming we buy players in January, which Bruno's hinting we will. But I think we will see a few more performances like this. And obviously going into the Liverpool, Man City and Brighton games, I think those games will actually suit us better. Personally, we can play on the break, we can be compact, and I think we will surprise a few people in those games. But it's just a bit frustrating when you look at the Premier League table and you see Norwich and Burnley at the bottom. And to be fair, if you look at the bottom three sides, we've taken 5 points in those 3 games. We beat Watford, we beat Southampton. So it's not like we haven't beat teams that are low down in the league, but with Burnley and Norwich, it feels like 2 opportunities missed, especially in this game, purely because we're at home and Norwich had that managerial boost, which obviously Burnley didn't. But overall, frustrating game. But positives, it's another clean sheet, it's a point, we're still in 6th, and now we've kind of got that free hit in Liverpool, and let's see what we can do. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, peace.